Hello everyone. Today we are going to explore a fascinating chapter in early Indian history, the Mahajanapadas. Let's rewind back to the 6th century B now. Don't worry, it may sound like a complicated word, but by the end of this class, you'll see how it connects cities, kings, republics, and even Buddha himself. This period was a turning point in ancient India. We call it the time of the second urbanization, especially in the middle Gangetic plains. So, what was new? Iron tools made farming easier, agriculture improved, food production increased, and, for the first time, there was surplus grain. Trade picked up, and for the first time, we find the use of punch marked coins. And yes, this was also the time when Buddhism and Jainism were taking root. Janpadas to Mahajanapadas. So, what does Janpada mean? Jana means people or tribe, and Pada means foot or land. Put together, Janpada means the land where a tribe settled. As time passed, some Janpadas grew bigger, more powerful, more organized. These became the Mahajanapadas, literally the great kingdom's texts, the Buddhist and the Jain Bhagavati. Two ancient texts, the Buddhist Anguttara Nikaya and the Jain Bhagavati Sutra, both list 16 Mahajanapadas. Where were these 16 Mahajanapadas? They stretched from Afghanistan to Bengal and from the Himalayas to central India. Quite a large spread. Let me give you a few examples. Magad capital, Rajagriha, later Patliputra, located in present-day Bihar. Kosal capital, Ayodhya and Shravasti in Uttar Pradesh. Vajji capital, Vaishali in North Bihar. Gandhar capital, Taxila in present-day Pakistan. Avanti capital, Ujjain in Madhya Pradesh. Kings and republics? Yes, both. Here's something fascinating. Not all Mahajanapadas were monarchies. Some were monarchies ruled by kings who passed the throne to their sons. Examples: Magad, Kosala, Vatsa, Avanti. Others were republics, or as we call them, Ganarajas. These were run by a group of elders or leaders, not by one king. They had assemblies called Santhagra where decisions were taken together, sometimes by vote. For example, Vajji was a republic and a very well organized one, made up of several clans like the Litchavis. It's kind of like our modern parliament, except 2500 years ago. These were run by a group of elders or leaders, not by one king. They had assemblies called Santhagra where decisions were taken together, sometimes by vote. For example, Vajji was a republic and a very well organized one, made up of several clans like the Litchavis. It's kind of like our modern parliament, except 2500 years ago. Now, let's talk guns and money. Because iron tools became common, especially in Magad, people cleared forests, expanded farms, and grew more food. And guess what? With agriculture and trade booming, taxation began. There were different kinds of taxes. Bali, this was the main agricultural tax. A part of the farmer's produce went to the king. Bhaga, another share-based tax, usually one-sixth of the crop. Shulka, this was a trade tax. Traders had to pay it to sell their goods in markets. With more trade came the use of coins, yes, the first real currency. These were silver punch-marked coins. And cities like Rajagriha, Patliputra, Kaushambi, and Ujjain became thriving commercial centers. Also, don't forget the rise of Shrenis or guilds. These were groups of craftsmen or traders who worked together, set prices, and even gave loans. Out of all 16 Mahajanapadas, Magad rose to become the most powerful. Why? Geography. It was located in the fertile Gangetic plains, surrounded by rivers like the Ganga, Son, and Champa. Plus, it had easy access to iron in the Chota Nagpur plateau. military strength, strong kings, large armies, use of war elephants, and strategic forts like Patliputra. Economy, fertile farms, good trade routes, and a solid tax base. All these made Magad a rising star in ancient India. The rulers of Magad who were they? Let's meet a few key rulers. Shishunga defeated Avanti, moved the capital to Vaishali briefly. Kalsoka held the second Buddhist council. Mahapadma Nanda, called the first empire builder of India, founded the Nanda dynasty. Dhana Nanda, the last Nanda king, defeated by Chandragupta Maurya. What happened to the other Mahajanapadas? Many were either annexed or fell due to weak leadership. For example, Kashi was absorbed by Kosala, which was later taken over by Magad. Slowly, Magad became the center of political power in northern India. Our sources are rich and varied. Buddhist texts like Anguttara Nikaya and Digha Nikaya, Jain texts like the Bhagavati Sutra, Greek accounts like Indica by Megasthenes, who visited India later, archaeology, coins, pottery like northern black polished ware, and ruins of old cities. The Mahajanabdas were more than just ancient kingdoms. They represent the transition from tribal life to organized states, some of the world's earliest republics, the foundation of what would become the Mauryan Empire. Centers of early religious and philosophical thought, Buddha and Mahavir taught here. In short, they helped shape India's political, economic, and spiritual future. So, students, the story of the Mahajanabdas is not just about kings and republics, it's about how India began building its identity. From iron plows to taxes, from guilds to councils, from kingdoms to empires, it all started here. In our next class, we'll talk about how Magad paved the way for Chandragupta Maurya and the rise of the Mauryan Empire. Until then, revise your maps and lists and stay curious.